Hello and welcome into the W&K channels. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for Weather Now Kentucky. We do have an update for you live right here with severe weather coverage. We're going to be live throughout the duration of this event, given that it has two or more warnings at a time. We don't want to be live, if there's not anything super inclement out there. We kind of try to reserve these for whenever there's damaging or hazardous weather going on. There is an alert day out for tonight. And looks like the severe warning started kicking up right around 5 p.m. Eastern time. So the timing was a pretty good thing so far on the forecasting. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds before we start going really into the information and current radar and stuff, because I want to make sure that you guys, first of all, I need to put this audio back onto my headset so it don't get echo. But anyway, I'll give it about 30 seconds before we go really into the information and start looking at the radar and start looking at model data and stuff. We will touch base very briefly a few times throughout the video on regarding Sunday. Sunday, in my opinion, has way more potential than today. We've forecasted today pretty good so far, but we didn't want to forecast it too much because we want to make sure that we're kind of starting to go ahead and look a little bit forward to Sunday. We don't skip over any system. But Sunday in our eyes has a lot more potential. So thank you real quickly. I just want to say, if you haven't already, please tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen if you're over there on Facebook. Get this video out on your news feed so that your friends and family can view it as well. We'll do live coverage again as long as there's at least 2 warnings or more on the radar. So make sure you're sharing the video throughout. We appreciate everyone that's hitting the like button as well on both YouTube and Facebook. If you didn't know, we are live on both YouTube and Facebook as well right now. So hello, welcome in everyone. Looking tired, my guy. I'm always tired. That's just all there is to it. So now that we have that over with, and I just spilled water on my desk, which is a live broadcast ritual. It seems like last few times I've gone live, I've spilled water on my desk. So let's go ahead and put this over to the main screen real quickly here. I'm going to show you our forecast, our latest update anyway, and then the SPC's forecast as well as live radar, and then we'll start looking at some model data as long as there's nothing too dangerous on radar, which real quickly I want to take a brief look and make sure. Okay, so only one severe warning right now. Okay, so we're okay so far. So by the way, real quickly, there is one severe warning I just want to mention real quickly up for the just west of Madisonville toward Manitow, Nebo, and just south of Providence. This is likely for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail, which it is. So nothing too crazy on the radar so far, but we are starting to see things tick up a little bit. But we'll explain to you why we think that things will kind of stay this way for a little bit. I don't think we're going to talk about anything super crazy tonight, but I still want to touch base on our forecast for tonight as well as looking a little bit into Sunday. Sorry, you're going to see me drinking a lot of water. The allergies are going absolutely crazy today. So this is our 2 p.m. update that we put out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Alert messages: scattered clusters of thunderstorms are possible even outside of the shaded area through tonight. Primary alert: damaging winds, flash flooding, and hail so far has been the case. 2%, very low. Tornado risk in West Kentucky. I really don't think it's even that. I never say 0% because you always kind of have to cover your bases, but I'd probably put it like 1%. Genuinely, I don't think we have a serious lack of winds above our head tonight. I don't think we're looking at anything tornadic. I don't. Now, I can't rule it out, which is why we put a 2% out there. But when it comes to anything substantial, I think we're looking at Sunday for more of that threat. The last note there is we've expanded the alert day or the alert area to the east slightly, given the current meso-analysis. So we were looking at the current analysis earlier. We noticed that things were a little bit more east with the spread of the action, I should say. So that's why we expanded. I don't know if you saw our earlier forecast from this morning, but we kind of cut it off around Somerset and then up toward the let's say Mount Olivet area is kind of where we cut it off. We expanded a little bit further east because we just saw a little bit of a broken cloud coverage out there, a little bit more progressed warm front. So that's why we shoved that a little bit more east there. So that was our 2 p.m. update from earlier. This is the SPC's outlook here. Hasn't really changed a whole lot. They've expanded a little bit further east as well. If you remember from their update this morning, it stopped around the Corbin and London areas and then went up toward Mount Olivet as well. Just out there toward northeastern Kentucky. I can't think of the name of that city for some reason right now. But that has also expanded a little bit to the east. Level 2 out of 5 risk. Nothing crazy, but something to respect. And that's kind of what the radar is showing right now as well. So here's the current radar. We do have a few special weather statements out, which once again are storms that are just below severe, probably or severe criteria. But they want to give you a little bit of a heads up because they are strong. So that exists out there toward Highway 27, just to the west of Corbin, Kentucky, Mount Vernon, Kentucky, as well as Edmonton for those special weather statements there. And then there's one more hanging out up here toward Interstate 165, just to the north of Hartford, Kentucky. There is one severe warning out here, just again to the west of Madisonville. We click on this right here, so tell us probably quarter-inch hail. That is the case, well, quarter-sized hail. As that is the case, there's 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. That'd be a common theme for tonight. Once again, we're really lacking. We're really lacking the just winds above our head. What the? What? Here we go with the camera. I think it's time for a new camera. Remember last week, or what was it, 2 weeks ago, it was doing that too? Maybe I should reset it. But overall, it's been a lot of rain. If you're down here from Hopkinsville to Bowling Green to Somerset, there's been a lot of, now obviously we see rain outside of that as well, but down here in this area, it has been raining for hours down there. And that's something that model data did not show. And that's why we think that this one's kind of reaching its ceiling already. Because when you have this much rain on the southern side of a system, right, all that energy can't get up past the rain. Now, there is some energy up here, and that's why we've kind of left the alert day out because of this little cluster right here. So there is energy up here, basically from Lexington to Frankfort, I-75, maybe even a little bit more towards Cincinnati, but there's energy right here. I mean, there's energy down here too, but there's so much rain that I don't see a whole lot happening here besides flash flooding, which is still something we need to respect. Because for some reason people think they can just their cars or tanks and can just go through water. I've never understood why, but anyway, that's a different phenomena for psychologists to figure out. But anyway, there's still some energy up here, even though this rain shield is down here kind of blocking it. So no new energy is coming up here, but there is, remember, it was 72-degree dew point most places, 80 degrees outside. There were some sunny skies earlier today. So there's still definitely some energy from earlier today, just kind of chilling in here. So what we're watching for now here at the desk is just kind of how the northern flank of this side of the storms, as they move east, just kind of how they interact. Because if you're in Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Frankfort, Lexington, Louisville, even Owensboro, Litchfield, even Bardstown, anywhere in those areas, you're going to notice it hasn't done a whole lot today, right? And you're like, where in the world are the storms everyone's talking about? Well, first of all, Bowling Green to Hopkinsville to Somerset, it's been storming there for the last 2 or 3 hours, a better part of that. But the northern flank is the one that we're watching for, that north central Kentucky area that we just mentioned. And that one, as it moves east, might try to pose some wind damage threats as it moves east. Again, I don't really see a tornadic threat with this. I don't even see a very large hail threat with this anymore because, again, we have all this rain down here, kind of limiting it. And the better winds above our heads are out here to the west, just kind of just chilling out here. So what it kind of leaves us a little bit of a gap. There's energy here at the surface, but there's not really a lot of wind forcing going on above our heads. There's energy in the mid layers as well. There's actually plenty of storm juice, but you have to have storm juice with wind forcing. And we don't really have the wind forcing today. Sunday, we'll have plenty of wind forcing. That's why we've already been talking about Sunday. We're going to touch base on that a little bit here as well. So if you want to know what's going on for Sunday, stay right here with us. But as for tonight, there's not a lot of wind forcing out there. We're talking about wind shear, talking about veering winds, winds going different directions. There's just not a whole lot of it. So what we're talking about is mainly a damaging wind threat and a moderate hail threat. And that's kind of what we started talking about this morning, as well as at the 2 p.m. update time. And then even now, kind of looks like the same thing. There's a lot of rain. So now our focus is really turning toward, okay, again, this northern cluster might pose a damaging wind threat as it pushes east. And then this cluster down here, it will have embedded spots of severe weather. Maybe like, this is just an example. Maybe like a little spot right there, a little spot right there. Just, again, just an example, not absolutely verbatim. But little spots right, here and there, but more so than anything down there, what we're going to have to start watching for is a flash flood threat. And we're really going to have to watch for it because, yes, we've had some good sunshine over the last couple of days, but remember, we still have a lot of rain that had a lot of rain that came in last week, right? And then a couple weeks ago. Yes, we've got some great sunshine that's helped to dry out the soil, but soil is still really wet down below the ground, a couple inches, a few inches down. It's still really wet. So it's not going to take a whole lot of water to start posing some threats. And then we're talking about the potential for 2 to 4 inches of rain throughout the next, let's say, 6 to 8 hours. That poses some threats. And also a round of heavy rain will come through tomorrow morning. So we might have to put an alert day for tomorrow morning for southern Kentucky, basically south of the parkways, because of the flash flood threat. The flash flooding threat, more in my opinion, is kind of the primary right now. Just because we're lacking that wind above our heads. There's a lot of rain going on in southern Kentucky, and it's just kind of helping to limit things a little bit, even for the folks north of the line. Like I said, we're watching that western cluster to see if that does anything as it moves east. But I don't expect anything super tremendous from today. I haven't at all throughout the week. Yes, we have an alert day out, and it was a warranted alert day. Like, there's definitely been all these reports right here are storm reports, so there's definitely been some damages to occur, but it just hasn't been anything egregious. So that's why we kind of left it at a level 1 alert day. We haven't really harped on it a whole lot like we do with most storms, because it's turning into way more of a rainmaker than anything. So that's kind of for today. I do want to take a quick look at Sunday. Now, I'm not going to go into too much because there's a lot. I mean, that's 5 days out. So there's going to be a lot of hit and misses. But the overall general idea is there for Sunday. And I just want to point out to you that the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center already has, make sure you can see this accurately. Okay, you can. I'm going to go to full display anyway, just to make sure you can see it all the way here. So the National Weather Service already has a probability map out for the day 5, which is Sunday. It had one out for day 6 yesterday, which is again Sunday as well. I want to point out how rare this is for Kentucky. Now in Oklahoma and Kansas, where severe weather is a lot more frequent, they put out earlier alerts all the time over there. It's not an incredibly rare thing, and for us, it's not super rare, but it is a pretty rare occurrence that we get a day 6 alert, and then day 5 it's already upgraded to 30%. So this map, you read it a little bit different than the other maps. So, for example, the map for today has a 1 through 5 risk with a thunderstorm risk as well. You kind of read it that way, 1 through 5. Here for this map, when you start, I think it's beyond 3 days. I think it's what it is. Yeah, so beyond 3 days. They drop the 1 through 5, and now you're going to probability. So you have a probability of greater than 30% here in the orange, and a probability of greater than 15% here in the yellow. Now, in my opinion, as we head through the next couple of days, based upon the data I've seen over the last, let's say, 36 hours, I do expect this 30% to probably include a lot of Kentucky. A lot. Basically, from Lexington to London to Bowling Green to Western Kentucky, I expect it to include a lot of Kentucky. So it's kind of how you read this. This is kind of your slight risk. This is kind of your enhanced risk, your orange zone or brown zone, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the monitor is kind of showing to you guys on the screen. So to have now it's not exactly a level 3 out of 5 risk, but to have a sort of 3 out of 5 risk for 5 days out kind of shows you how seriously everyone's taking Sunday. Now, there is a lot of time for this to decrease or change over the next few days, but I'll just go ahead and tell you that over the last 48 to even 72 hours, so over the last 2 to 3 days, model data has continued to have a very serious look on it. A very serious look on it. We're talking about the potential for significant severe weather once again here in Kentucky. So that's why we haven't skipped over Wednesday, but I'm telling you, as soon as this storm system ends, we're on to Wednesday. We're on to Sunday. There is a round of storms possible for Friday afternoon and evening as well, but once again, we'll be lacking the winds above our heads greatly. So I have serious doubts on whether that'll be able to turn severe. It's coming at the right time of day. It's coming at 4 to 10 p.m. on Friday, which is kind of the prime time for severe weather. But once again, we're lacking those winds that kind of help force the storms to the ground and help them root and become more mature. Whereas Sunday, we're not going to have any issue with that. And that's kind of the more concerning part. There's a lot of wind energy out there. There's a lot of storm juice out there. And so that's why we kind of already started to talk about it and mention it a couple times. And over the next couple of days, you'll hear us start to mention it more. We'll do several broadcasts, of course, as we can. So that's kind of the outlook for Sunday there on the maps. And I'll just show you a real brief rundown on the model data. I'm not going to go into it too much here because, again, I do expect a lot of this to change as we head over the next couple of days here. But I just want to kind of show you. So here is Friday. Just want to kind of show you this real quick. Okay, let's actually go back. Let me make sure on the radar here there's nothing popping up. So same situation, right? Yeah, okay. Just the one severe warning out there toward Manitow and Collartown, just to the west of Madisonville. Again, for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Special weather statements elsewhere. Okay, so here is the HRRR model, and this is going to be for This is going to show us all the way through Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom this in a local view so you can kind of get the city stamps here and just kind of see for yourself. Let me go ahead and zoom this into 110% so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so this is today. Let's go ahead and fast forward this to 6 p.m. You can see it's pretty accurate. It's not extremely accurate, but it's pretty close. So it has the northern branch already approaching the Hardin County and I-65 area at 6 p.m. With 10 minutes to go, we can already tell you that it's a little bit too fast with it because we have it all the way back out here. Also noticing a branch over. Remember, this was not here when we started this video. What, 15 minutes ago? Yeah, 15 minutes ago. That northern branch was not there, so we'll keep an eye on this. This will happen time to time tonight. It'll extend, shrink back down, and make it into a big rain shower. Extend once again, and it's when it extends that can pose a severe threat. So that's what we're keeping an eye on basically for right now. So that new extension is over there toward Henderson. We'll see how that tracks throughout the rest of this video. But you can tell it's doing okay. It's got a stronger cell to the south of Somerset. That is the case. But it's a little bit southwest. Once again, it's a little bit more west than everything, or it's a little bit more west right now than what the model data is showing on pretty much everything. But so far, so good. And that's the thing with model data is you can't take the locations verbatim. You can take the threats verbatim, but you can't take the locations verbatim. So let's go ahead and do this and push this on forward here. So this is valid for 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can tell it has that northern branch dying down. I'm not quite sure that it will. I think it will be able to survive, but we'll see. It has these stronger, just pure, massive, heavy rain showers down there towards Somerset around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a wall of rain as it exits Eastern Kentucky. You can see why we dropped our severe threat for Eastern Kentucky. So if you looked out at our map here and wonder why Ashland and Pikeville and Harlan, you're left out. Well, because by the time it gets to you, it turns into a massive rain shower. It's not really any severe threat later on close to midnight. So that's tonight's outlook there. And here's Thursday morning, another round of just pop-up rain showers come through. Maybe some small hail in some of these cells. I don't expect anything major or hazardous with these cells. It looks like just really heavy thunderstorms. So they'll be loud for sure. Maybe some small hail in a few of them, but I don't expect anything super crazy. Again, this is for Thursday morning. Now we're approaching around lunch hour here. More rain showers move through the Tennessee and Kentucky line. And that's why we might have to put out that alert day we talked about. Because if these folks get even more rain than what they saw today, the flash flood threat really goes up. I mean, I think Adair County is already at 2.5 inches since midnight, and that's a lot of rain. You talk about another potential 2 or 3 inches on top of that. That's what we have flash flooding concerns for Thursday around lunchtime. So as we head through the afternoon, on Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, you can see that wall of rain is moving towards southeastern Kentucky, and then it's just more rain and more rain, more rain, more rain. I mean, this is kind of what we talked about, like, what was it, a week, 10 days ago? We put out that earliest outlook for the rest of the month. We talked about the activity in storms increasing. We talked about the activity in rain increasing. And we told you guys, hey, you got a little bit of a window here to plant. If you're planting, that window's over now. As we head throughout Thursday night here, close to midnight, maybe a couple of more pop-up cells, but again, nothing too crazy in our opinion, just more heavy thunderstorms. I wanted to make a real quick mention as well. If you hear lightning and hear thunder and you got a few bursts of winds, it doesn't automatically mean you're in a severe warning. You don't have to blow up our message box. I promise you. We'll let you know if there's a severe warning anywhere near your area. As soon as one comes out, we always post it to our Twitter or Facebook. But just because I want to mention that, because there's a lot of cape with these storms. When there's a lot of cape with storms, they get really loud. So oftentimes with these kind of setups, they sound and look a lot more rough than what they actually are. So as we head to our Friday morning here, nothing really on the books for Friday morning. Some light showers around lunchtime or so. And then we have this big old boy coming down out of here from Illinois. Now, this one's quite interesting because this one looks absolutely mean, right? We see all the purples and whites, and we got pop-ups, popcorn cells in front of it. It looks mean. But when I go to click on it and we start looking at the information, right? Like, here's a weather sounding for you if anyone's ever seen it. Don't pay attention to this. This is just an automatically populated thing. But it doesn't have a whole lot with it, once again. It's kind of more of today, where it's a lot of storm energy, but not a whole lot of wind forcing. If there's a lot of wind forcing, these numbers right here would be a lot higher. This is your SRH. This means storm relative velocity. This number needs to be over 150 if you have any real concerns. It's at 45. Shear right here, this number needs to be really over 25 or really over 30. It's at 9. So that's kind of what's happening today as well. It's just we're lacking that wind forcing. We're lacking it. Now Friday has a little bit more potential in my opinion because it does have a better time frame on it. We'll just have to wait and see on that one's more of a wait and see thing. So that's Thursday and Friday. What I want to show you now is Sunday here. If I can click on the correct country, what I want to show you now here is for Sunday. So let's go ahead and switch over models here. We'll go to the European model and kind of show you that one. I think this one has a bit of a better handle on it than the GFS right now. So that was your Thursday through Friday. Saturday, a few rain showers as well. I don't think we're looking at anything crazy for Saturday, but if you do have plans outside, I know it's Memorial Day weekend. Just know some rain showers are possible on Saturday. Now, if you're having Memorial Day plans on Sunday, it is my suggestion that you go ahead and cancel them because I don't think you're going to have a window to get them in. So here is Sunday. In the morning time, here's around 4 to 5 a.m. Some rain showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. Sorry if you see me scratching my nose. My allergies are absolutely off the charts right now. So this is right around 7 to 8 a.m. More rain showers coming through. Noon, more rain showers. Thunderstorms now. We're starting going to more of a thunderstorm look. And then a bit of sunshine peeks through. And then around Thursday afternoon, around rush hour, 5 p.m. or so, a mean line of storms will push through and enter western Kentucky. And you can just go ahead and tell, I mean, just without me even clicking on anything or reading anything to you guys, the shape of this line is a bit concerning. When we have a line that kind of just wiggles like that, looks like a spaghetti noodle if you threw it up on the fridge, right? That's usually your signs of your more strong lines of storms. So you have that line that's around 5 to 8 p.m., a bit of a break, and then a secondary line around 8 to 11 p.m. So that's why I told you if you have any Memorial Day plans for Sunday to celebrate, you just go ahead and get them out. I don't see you having a window to do it responsibly. Now, if you do something inside, that's one thing. If you have safety plans to be able to keep folks safe, by all means. But if you don't have those plans, or if you wanted to do something outside, don't even try it. I'm just going to tell you, save your money, save your time. Okay, because this one looks like it has a lot of potential to be severe. And the reason for that, and I don't want you to pay attention to this number right, or this word right here, but look at the difference. So we just told you the SRH here for storm relativity is 140. The shear right here is 29. Both meet that marker we kind of say. If you look at the winds here, here's your wind profiles here in the middle, and you'll see how it's pointing one way in the middle levels, and then down here at the surface it turns. That tells us these are rotating storms. If you look over here at the D cape, this means downdraft cape. It means that storms are really going to be able to draft out, right? We have lapse rates there, and kind of meets every kind of box that we look at. There's nothing overtly impressive about the system, but it just meets everything. You know what I mean? It just meets everything. So that's why we've already started, kind of talking about it a little bit more and forecasting a little bit. And then as soon as Wednesday ends, our threat here went for Wednesday. As soon as that ends, we'll start really beginning to focus on it. So just know there's storm chances for Thursday and Friday. We don't expect there to be robust severe weather, but there will be additional rainfall and loud thunderstorms to come with it. For Saturday, bit of a clearer day. Still a few spotty rain showers, but nothing absolutely crazy. And then for Sunday, that's probably the big boy day of the event so far. We do see more storm activity occurring in the first part of June, but of course, it's way too early to be talking about specifics on that. So next up is really starting to talk about Sunday. We'll keep a close eye on Friday afternoon. I think Friday afternoon might have a chance to produce some kind of underrated strong weather. So we'll keep an eye on it. Of course, I'll let you know of any updates there. Thursday for tomorrow, I think it's more so just heavy thunderstorms. I don't think we're talking about anything severe. But again, we'll have to keep an eye on it. We're talking about storms that occur later parts of May. They don't need that much. They don't need that much to work with. I mean, dew points in the 70s, temperatures in the 80s. They don't need much to work with out here. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I'll get to some of your questions, but if you're going to ask about specific cities and stuff and specific locations, I'm just going to refer you back to our forecast because right now it just doesn't really look like a whole lot's happening. There are no severe warnings at this time. And I'm assuming that you're talking about Sunday. Um, right now on model data is looking like semi-discrete supercells. So what that means is a line, kind of like what now. If you pay attention to the weather, I'm not saying this is going to be absolutely verbatim, okay? But what happened in Des Moines, basically from Des Moines to basically actually more toward Omaha, toward Davenport, is they had a line of storms. Okay, but they were broken a little bit here and there, just enough. That's usually what we refer to as semi-discrete supercells, and that's why they were able to produce so much strong weather throughout basically Iowa, going toward Illinois. So I think what we're looking at for Sunday is something similar to that. I don't know if it'll be as strong. I hope not, because that was an extremely strong system that went through that portion of the country last night. Um, but that's kind of the similar organization of the storms. Yeah, Stacy. Whenever we're getting a 30% risk 5 days out, it definitely heightens. It definitely heightens the urgency a little bit. Amanda, it's a little bit too early to go through Monday. I do know there's definitely some chances for some rain showers, and I would assume with the amount of heat that we'll be seeing that there will be lightning involved with that. So make sure you're careful if you make a decision to go out on the lake. I remember a couple years ago there were people that thought that they were stronger than the storms out here in Grand Rivers, and they ended up getting hit by lightning. Um, if you're on a boat in the middle of a lake in the middle of a thunderstorm, you better start praying. Let's see here. Let's see here. Can you zoom in a bit? I mean, I can, but I don't want to cut off other parts of the state, so we're going to just leave it right here where the main action is. Charles, I appreciate that update over there. Madison, I'm assuming you're talking about for Sunday. There likely to be multiple rounds lasting throughout the entire 24-hour period. Just rainy, Ashland. Let's see here. Thank you, Chess. There might be some small pockets of hail, Vicky, but it doesn't look like anything super concerning for that Greenville area. There might be some small pockets within there, maybe more towards Central City, but nothing that's even close to severe level. Oh, I hate that, Caitlin. Yes, Haley, it'll eventually make its way through Elizabethtown later on tonight. Angelica, nothing severe there. I'm just gotta really watch. Now we're starting to really watch for that area, the flash flooding threat. Basically throughout tonight and going into tomorrow. Glenn, I appreciate that update there. Hopefully, no one's on the lake. Guys, not a lot of people know, man, if you're on a boat in the middle of water, lightning loves water. Okay? It loves water and it loves metal. What are boats on water? Metal on water. Don't go on a lake on Sunday or Monday, in my opinion. It's too risky. It's too risky. It's not worth it. Angelica, I appreciate that. By the way, once again, just want to mention if you do have any plans, I know a lot of people have plans for Sunday. I know Memorial Day is technically on Monday, but a lot of people celebrate it the day before because it's, of course, on Monday. Um, if you do have any plans for Sunday, I would go ahead and cancel them. Or if you have plans for the inside on Sunday, that's cool. Just make sure you have enough room to shelter people in case there is any type of dangerous weather. Um, so I just again for Sunday, guys, I would just kind of do your own thing at home. Save your money, save your time, because it's going to be storming. Even if it's not severe, it's going to be storming pretty much all day. Um, Also, thank you for your 200 stars. I appreciate that. Maria with the 520 stars earlier. I'm so sorry for missing that. I didn't hear the bell go off. Thank you so much for your star donation as well. We appreciate you guys. Don't run an ad on YouTube. Why does YouTube keep trying to run ads? We don't run ads during alert day. Yeah, me too, Adna. It's funny. He's literally I had my radar on the TV out there in the living room, but we were out there in the living room and doing labor exercises right before I got on this video. It's a busy time out here. I kind of wish it was a dead period right now as well because we just hit the 40 week marker today. So literally any time, um, and also got to deal with this stuff. So I'm really hoping that he can squeeze out of here within the next, I don't know, 12 to 16 hours and get him out and get him home by Sunday so I can forecast Sunday for you guys. But hey, I know you guys will understand. I know you guys will understand. Yeah, we are on baby watch mode, and we finally figured out some appropriate exercises to do because we're trying to do everything that we can to not induce because inducing medications can have quite the strong side effects. So we're trying to do everything we can. Our induction date is for the 27th though, as a backup plan, because our OB was going out of town. So we're kind of just forced in the 27th there. So hopefully we're doing everything we can to get him out before then. Um, yeah, and that's the hope. But if he does come on Sunday, then I'll point you guys in the direction of some great coverage because I will not be here, and I'm sure you guys can understand. I'm not missing my baby's birth or anything. How bad will it get in Owensboro? Again, we expect some marginal severe weather. I don't think we're looking at anything super impressive today. Um, will there be some more severe warnings? Probably. Will there be an outbreak of severe weather? I don't think so. So I don't think we're looking at anything super impressive. Yeah, Lisa, that's a lot. That's a lot to handle. That's a good call. I hate to tell people to cancel stuff because there's always a chance it doesn't happen, right? But with just the pattern that we're in, and what we've seen occur throughout other portions of the country, what we know was kind of coming to us, it is just not worth the risk, guys. There will be other holidays. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that. Christine, I appreciate you. Take a long walk. Yeah, we've been doing walking 4 times a day. Now we started peanut ball exercise um, for some things because she is. I think they called it posterior or something like that. So we're trying to. The only thing that's kind of holding him up right now is, in the doctor's opinions, is that he's not in the correct position 100%. So we're trying to naturally get him there. Um, but it's all up to him. We can only do so much. No, April, I'm talking. That was for tonight. I do think Sunday has the potential to be very significant. Oh yeah, it's really funny. So I could actually go back. I'll have to make a post on this at some point whenever things are a little bit more calm. Um, but I believe so. We've had 12 OBGYN appointments, I believe, and on 11 of them, there has been severe weather that same day. So you guys couldn't tell, uh, but I spent most of my time in the mornings anyway of those severe days actually forecasting from the OBGYN office and then hurrying up and getting home afterward to get on the broadcast. So I made it work this whole time. So I'm hoping I can make it work for Sunday. But yeah, I can't promise anything. Can't promise anything. Lisa, it looks like it. Looks like it. So we do have his induction scheduled for Monday morning. So even if he does stay in there until Monday morning, we're good. I'll just be tired, but I can deal with being tired. That's nothing new. Um, but I'm really hoping we can get him out tomorrow, some sort of way. Uh, so that's why we ramped up the exercises. We ramped up the routines that we're doing. Um, but he's about as stubborn as his mama. I swear. We appreciate it. Use a cold washcloth for her forehead and bring lollipops to her mouth. Won't be dry. Give her ice chips. Have a wonderful birthday. I appreciate that, Maria. Yeah, we do got some little snacks planned that we're not supposed to be having, but we everybody does it. We do have some things planned though, so thank you. And yes, Lee, I do have what do they call that? Oh my gosh, my brain is fried. Um, a remote setup. Oh my gosh, I could not think. Now it all depends on how the Wi-Fi is at the hospital, but I guess we'll find that out. So if I can't stream, I'll at least be able to post for you guys. As long as we're not inactive, things are going. But we'll figure out some way, somehow. We'll figure out some type of system if things do go down Sunday to get you guys information. Okay. I don't really see a reason to stay live right now. No severe warnings. In fact, there's actually only one special weather statement. Now, what we're going to do here while we're off the air here, we're going to watch this northern extent and see if it poses any threat to, let's say, northwestern, north central Kentucky here. I I just have a hard time believing it does because there's just abundant amount of rainfall down here. Um, and what that's doing is, once again, it's just helping to limit the energy to be able to lift into central Kentucky. So I don't think anything today. I don't think anything today is going to get super hazardous or dangerous. Um, we might, Lisa. I've thought about it, but I've also thought about not doing it because it might be taken the wrong way. People might be thinking we're asking for handouts. So I don't want to ever think of that. I want to just put it there for the people that do want to be kind. Um, but I also don't want people thinking we're asking for handouts and stuff. I don't know. I've battled with it over the last couple of months on actually doing it or not. But I don't know how, but someone from the WK community found my personal page and found the list, and they bought something and sent it to us like a week ago, I think, which was pretty cool. Also pretty weird. Not weird, but like it just caught me off guard. Um, but yeah, I guess whenever we have some calmer weather, I'll put something up there. I'm sure Bree would love that. I'm sure Bree would love that. But anyway, I don't see a reason to take your all's time up right now. You guys know when we're on these alert days, I like to save the broadcast for inclement weather. I don't see anything super inclement right now. Of course, if that changes, we'll be back on here with you guys. Um, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, but again, I don't see a whole lot at this moment. What we're watching right now is that northern half of the system up there toward Owensboro and Madisonville. As that moves east toward Breckenridge and Meade counties and Hardin counties, we'll see how that interacts with the area because that area has not been really touched today. So we'll see how that interacts with everything. But overall, I don't think we're looking at anything super robust. Just a whole lot of rain, on the way, a whole lot of rain. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WK. Until next time, stay safe, Kentucky.